Hey, I'm Penny Dell. Welcome to a new program, Nowa Then and Now. So far, I'm a NAWA member for 28 out of NAWA's 132. And during that time, I've met many wonderful women, artists, innovators, leaders, volunteers. Indeed, I often say that, NAWA is really functioning as a leadership hub. Like the experience, the wisdom, the hard work of some of these wonderful women who made NAWA the great organization it is. That's what I hope to highlight and share with you in this series. So the National Association is 132 years of women's art. And it's very easy for us to take this for granted, but really, we just celebrated the 100th anniversary of our getting the vote. And now it's older than that. Now it's 132 years old. So we have people that documented this whole emergence. NAWA was founded by 5 women on January 1889 as the Women's Art Club. And we have here on the right a photo of Sandra Bertrand, Susan Hammond, Jill Clifter Barada, Natalia Koren-Koft, and Carol Richard Kaufman as the NAWA founders. And you'll hear a little more from them at the end, but it's really hard for us to know how different things were then. In 1914, we have the record of Theresa Bernstein's suffrage meeting. And, over the growth of 132 years, here are some of the banner years. In 1920, we had over 500 members in the National Association of Women Painters and Sculptors. In the 1930s, we had over 1,000 members, and we opened Argent Galleries on 57th Street. In 1941, we changed our name to the National Association of Women Artists. In 1989, another banner year, 100th anniversary, and we published 100 years, a centennial celebration of the National Association of Women Artists, with a beautiful catalog, a scholar's essay, and a museum exhibit. In 1991, we founded a permanent collection at the Zimmerle Art Museum at Rutgers, and we established a Florida chapter, both of those under the leadership of Liana Mooney, who you'll hear a little more off ahead of us. 2009, 120th anniversary exhibit with major shows at the Zimmerle Museum and the UBS galleries in New York City. Fabulous. In 2013, a Massachusetts chapter was established, again, Liana Mooney. And 2018, Southeast chapter established. 2019, our 130th anniversary, you see that picture on the right, and 2021, still going strong nationwide. So here's where we started, suffrage parade, street parades and assemblies. We're still there today in many ways. The Women's March. But so here's the 1915 painting by Theresa Bernstein. So the NAWA legacy of achievement is not just 132 years. We're a pioneering champion of women's equality in the arts. Many thousands of women members are supported and encouraged. Over $1 million in prizes have been awarded. Thousands of curated shows at venues across the nation and abroad. A permanent museum collection featuring some of the finest women artists of the past century. And now we're thriving online in virtual exhibits and artist programs. How am I getting all my information? Fortunately, we have annual catalogs of our exhibits. And you can see at the top right that they used to be pretty humble little publications. And even before that, there were just lists of the art that was in the annual. But now, each of those catalogs holds not only the pictures of the prize winners at the annuals, but also some of the major events that happened during the year. So, I have quite a few of these going back to the 80s. We also have special catalogs. For instance, we have the catalog for the 100 years, which had all the members, that not only, esteemed and, amazing women, but in the back, there was the list of all the members up to then. And then we have special events around our 120th and our 125th. A parallel presence was the catalog for our 125th. So through that whole thing, I really believe that it's all about the people. All of us together make up what NAWA is. And I think our forward-looking founders really were stellar. So here is somebody who was really extraordinary. Theresa Bernstein joined in 1916, and she remained committed to NAWA for over 80 years until her death in her 112th year in 2002. She was widely exhibited and awarded every decade. She was the teacher and mentor to NAWA member Louise Nevelson. She was celebrated in author and curator Gail Levin's major book and traveling show, Theresa Bernstein, A Century in Art. And now her work hangs in the National Gallery. Bernstein's long career merits a program all to herself, and a future program will feature Professor Levin. Additionally, in another future program, Anne Chenault, who was for all practical purposes NAWA's executive director from 1983 to 2003, will share some of her memories of Theresa. So here is another work by Theresa. She took on big themes, and here's Flags of the Allies from 1918. She did the New York Public Library. She did the Metropolitan Opera. Here she is with her biographer, Professor Gail Levin, in about 1983. So here's Louise Nevelson. She was the star pupil of Theresa Bernstein in the 1920s. She joined NAWA in 1952. In 1962, she represented the US in the Venice Biennale. She was in the Whitney Museum in a retrospective in 1967. She's in numerous museum collections, and her works were featured in NAWA's Centennial and NAWA's 120th anniversary exhibition. There's more about her at louisenevelsonfoundation.org. So here is an example of her, black painted wood sculptures that are really big, I want to say heroic. Dorothy Daner, here's another NAWA member. She joined in 1960 and she remained committed to NAWA. She was a very frequent visitor because her studio space was in the same building as NAWA. She was a printmaker and a sculptor, and she was featured in NAWA's 89th Centennial and 120th anniversary at the UBS Gallery in Zimmerli. Widely exhibited in numerous museum collections, she became an honorary VP in 1984. And she has had many posthumous retrospectives. I want to say that going through the catalogs, I saw that she was very, very generous. She gave money to NAWA. She was very, very supportive in every kind of way. She juried shows. I have pictures of her during shows that you will see in the future as well. Alice Neal was not a member, but she was also very supportive. She was a judge, she was on panels, and she donated prizes to our annual. So here's some of her work. Many of you know her as a painter and portraitist. She had her own Whitney Museum retrospective in 1974, and she became involved with NAWA late in her distinguished career, served as NAWA show juror, and as I said, established awards of painting in her name. She was elected honorary VP of NAWA, and here's two works exhibited in the NAWA Centennial Show. Also, if you Google her, Alice Neal, you'll see more about her. Here's the Alice Neal Award at the NAWA annuals. And I thought that they were all, portraits like this, but I've found many Alice Neal Memorial Awards that are also abstract. Faith Ringgold, artist, author, activist, champion of civil liberties and women's rights, pioneer quilt storyteller, and children's author. She joined NAWA in 1968. She uses her art to support Anyone Can Fly Foundation. And I think what's really stellar is her major installation at MoMA, now facing off with Picasso. She has been honored by the College Art Association Lifetime Achievement Award. She is our honorary VP. She had her a special honoring at the 125th annual exhibition, and she came to our celebration of our 130th, which you'll see a little more of. So she and Ursula von Rijdingsvaart were honored by NAWA President Marie Cowan at our 125th. Here she is facing off to Picasso at the new MoMA, and people really love, this juxtaposition. So Leanna Mooney really was forward-looking and I think a visionary, a wonderful leader for NAWA. She joined NAWA in 1978. She was deeply dedicated to NAWA. She served 2 terms as president, and she arranged for the permanent collection at the Zimmerli. She led the creation of Florida and Massachusetts chapters. She spearheaded the Centennial Show and Catalog, and she remained active and attended NAWA events, and she was a board member until the year before she died. And she continued somehow to make beautiful art to the end. She was honored at the Silver Mine, and we had a memorial gathering at our office on 39th Street. And, she also, I want to say, donated her son, because her son was on our board until recently. And it turns out that he is a lawyer and was a frequent reviewer of the work that she did with bylaws. So there's no end to her amazing contributions. So NAWA had a real talent for attracting, amazing women. And here are some of the, people involved during Madeleine Siegel Marx's presidency. And that was the year that the Millennium Collection won the Feminist Expo First Prize for Development and Fundraising. We all made 5x7s, and they were put together into a traveling show. And we won a major award. This picture also shows you that it's fun and full of friendship. And you see in this picture some of the women that you will, see in further programs. Here's Maddie Siegel Marx and Joan Greenfield. Here's Janet Indick. There's Anne LaSousa. There are going to be a lot of people that you will, love to meet. So NAWA's legacy and enduring records. The NAWA catalogs not only are the source of information for me, but they go out to all of these museums. The the Guggenheim, the Metropolitan, the Whitney, the Zimmerli, the Museum of Modern Art, the National Museum of Women in the Arts, Smithsonian, Ryerson and Burnham, libraries at the Art Institute of Chicago, Frick, NY Public Library, Film and Fine Art Library at Harvard, Library of Congress, and sharing, the good news and I'm really glad that our works are accessible in that way. So NAWA today, over 700 members, staff, active board, countless volunteers, new offices at the National Arts Club, another historical arts association in Manhattan. A little younger than we are, it was founded 10 years after. We have active chapters in Florida and Massachusetts and Southeast US. We have art exhibitions, monthly NAWA, galleries, solo and group shows, ongoing juried group exhibitions in select galleries and public venues, chapter exhibitions, annual award show in the catalog, which you've just seen, open to all members, 3 judges awarding merit prizes. And this was last year was our first year that it was online. The income and prizes from endowment, memberships, donations, and grants, and special events and programs, honors and awards to luminaries and supporters, and we're welcoming new members for the future. So he brings us to now, and if you're somebody just seeing the good news of NAWA, I hope you'll join us. I want to tell you that I am so thankful, because you see how many hands it takes to keep our art dreams aloft through history. And I thank NAWA's now president, Natalia Korenkoft, and executive director, Biana Kovic, for encouraging me in every way to do this. And very, very special thanks to Emma Seeley-Katz, NAWA's social media and digital content manager, for her encouragement and incredible tech knowledge. Thank you. Our next program is going to be April 13th. See you then.
I'll use my natural projection, but if you have any trouble hearing, please let me know. January 31st, 1889. It was a very important date for the National Association of Women Artists, for it was on that evening in the studio of Grace Fitz Randolph on New York City's fashionable Washington Square that 5 women gathered, including their hostess, Miss Fitz Randolph. Now, this gathering was in order to address a most vital and pressing issue: the recognition and inclusion of professional women artists in the art world of their day. A recognition and visibility that, in spite of their talents and their persistence, had been denied their female sex. There you have it. So, Edith Mitchell Prelwitz. Anita C. Ashley. Elizabeth C. Cheever. And Adele Francis Fidel. Oh, ladies, I'm so happy we could gather tonight like this. Oh, Edie, your hat is just divine. You must tell me the name of your milliner.
I must confess, I got her name from none other than Mary Cassatt.
Must be Parisian. You know the type.
Not so fast. You're speaking to one who knows. I'm acquainted with quite good designers right here on Fifth Avenue.
Oh,
Ladies, please take your seats. We have a lot to discuss this evening.
well, Grace, I thought we were discussing. I mean,
We decided that we were no longer going to be just a social club.